Hello, Divine Souls, and welcome to a timeless collective general message for my YouTube collective. To open the space and to cleanse the space, I just want to burn some Palo Santo to also assist with bringing in the good energies and positive vibes for this reading, to assist as always. And of course, I want to call in the Most High, the Mother, the Father, the Source within us, to assist with this reading, with the insights, the clarity, the confirmation, clarity, however it needs to be received by those who are open to allowing this message to assist them along their path and journey, however it may be, for their highest good, of course. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashe. Alrighty, let's get into it. So I've got my beautiful Dreamy Moons tarot deck today to pull through your message so that you can receive, as always, however you need to. Just reminder that this is a general message, so it may not resonate fully, but do take what does and leave behind whatever does not for the next person who may need to receive, okay? And just another reminder that I do have a more concise way of bringing through the energy. Just because I am an empath, I do like to tap into the energy that is coming through so that it may assist you for your highest good, of course, as just so that it can, assist you, and just keep an open mind so that it assists you in the way it needs to. All right, beautiful. Let's just get one more card, Spirit. What do my collective need to know today? Aha, that's beautiful. All right, let's do it. Let's get into your reading. I'm just going to pop that there. All right, we have the Four of Crystals on the crown and third eye chakra. We have the Nine of Cups on the throat and heart chakra. We have the King of Swords on the... Wait, I said King of Swords. This is King of Cups. My bad. On the solar plexus and sacral chakra. And we have the Hierophant on the root chakra. Alrighty, let's get into this message, shall we? So, Four of Crystals. It feels like on your third eye and crown chakra, you are a little overwhelmed, okay? You are feeling a lot, and it has put you in this state of kind of needing to rest. If you see this girl just laying down, she's just kind of, she's tired, she's burnt out, she's had it. She just doesn't know what else to do at this time, and so she's resting. She's taking the time out to really just do what she needs to. And honestly, this may be asking you to do that at this time if you're not already doing it, because it is this sense of your mind, your crown, your third eye, all that kind of, energies at the top there can be very overwhelmed at certain times, and it can genuinely cause a lot more strife and chaos if you don't give yourself the space to actually process what is occurring at the time. And I'm not going to lie, obviously this is timeless, but at this particular time that I'm posting this, it is eclipse season, so there is a lot that is going to surface right now. So it is genuinely this sense of, don't forget that your mind needs rest too. Don't forget that you need to have this sense of retreat, but not in a way that you're giving up, but in a way that that if you don't take a step back from things and allow yourself to process it in a gentle, nurturing way, your thoughts will just overwhelm you, and you'll have burnout. You'll have points where you just can't do it anymore because you're too overwhelmed. So this is really asking you to, be genuinely, in tune with yourself, to know if this is what you need, then allow yourself to have the time. And, if your life is quite demanding with, doing what you need to do, use the pockets of time that you do have, create the pockets of time to make sure that you are doing this sense of rest. And, it really is for your mind to go within. And sometimes this is can be a sense of meditation, a sense of just, making sure that when you go to sleep at night that you're actually getting a restful sleep, that you're actually tuning into yourself, not, getting caught up in distractions and overthinking. There's a lot of that can occur, especially, like I said, when there's an overwhelming sense of emotional thoughts that are just coming up through the crown and third eye. So really understand that it is safe. Well, it is good for you to create the safety to hold space for what it is that you are moving through at this time, so that you can actually process this as you need to, without the rush, without the need to, overwhelm yourself, so that you can actually pace through this in a better way. So with the Nine of Cups on your throat and heart chakra, it does feel like that you are allowing this process to occur because you know yourself enough to understand that your emotions are not supposed to control you. They're just indications. And that's why you're starting to really, I love this imagery specifically on this deck, if it focuses properly, just because of the fact that it's a tree of water coming out of the crown chakra. and coming through the body. So it feels like this is a sense of you actually clearing a lot right now. That's what I'm getting, like from your heart and throat chakra, and it's clearing through your mind, it's clearing through your awareness of what you're going through. And this sometimes doesn't necessarily need to be you understanding it fully. It just means you need to hold space for it to come through and surface, okay? Because when you're truly, and I think I even said meditation, right? Like she's technically like got the pose of meditation, and that's what it is a sense of you being in this ability to tune into your own self and know that your emotions aren't meant to, control you by overwhelming you. They're meant to actually give you an indication that you need to rest, right? As I already mentioned, that's what's coming up for you. And this is such a powerful energy of you being able to allow your heart and your throat chakra to be cleared. Like it feels like there's so many blockages that may have been there that are now coming through to be released so that you can actually have a clearer heart and throat chakra. Because a lot of the time whenever these things surface, you get a bit I want to say off guard of like what's happening. But as I said, it's just a sense of allowing it to flow. Even if it's a little bit interruptive with your life, it may just be that it's the only way you're going to be able to move through this. And the Nine of Cups is someone who is very much in tune with their emotions. So the more that you trust in your heart and your throat to release what it needs to in this time, the easier it will be for you to actually do what you need to do in the future when you move through this in a better way, because you'll be cleared, you'll be free of all these things that want to surface now. And it is important to trust yourself in this process, because you are flourishing, you are growing, your petals are starting to expand as you grow through this, because it is a time of, I feel like, it does feel like you're actually starting to expand through so much that you have already been moving through. But this is kind of like a big hurdle that, it's just another thing you need to move through as you continue along this path of, acknowledging yourself and trusting yourself and being in tune with your energy and your emotions. Because I love this kind of concept, and I just heard it recently again, which, makes it come to mind. Our emotions are just energy and motion, right? So the more that you actually allow it to just move through you as beautifully as you can. It may not be beautiful in the sense that sometimes it gets a bit chaotic and you just, get on edge, but just give yourself that grace to just move through that, no matter what it looks like, because the beauty is that you will feel freer after. You will feel a sense of space being cleared. And it is beautiful when you can do that, because it does feel like there's a lot of emotional in this kind of inner section that may be overwhelming your crown, as I said, in your mind and your third eye and what you're currently seeing, but it's all for the purpose of this King of Cups energy of in your solar plexus and your sacral chakra. Because truly, you are in a position to actually understand that the more that you are tapping into your emotions, the easier it is for you to understand them, without having to get overwhelmed. And as I said, like, you may be overwhelmed now, but it is teaching you something. It is showing you that when you don't really comprehend what's going on, it does feel a little chaotic. But the more that you can tap into your King of Cups energy, like he is just kind of surrendered and he's allowing the waves of water to just kind of, happen. There's no sense of like, stop. It's kind of just like, all right, if this is the emotion, this is what's going to flow, that's fine. It's a sense of still feeling that dignity in actually understanding that emotions are not bad. Emotions demand to be felt, and they're going to need to be felt for them to be released. So the more that you trust in your King of Cups energy by feeling this sense of like, I want to say just trust within the process of how this needs to flow, the easier it will be for you to kind of weather any, crashes of waves. Like the waves on here are very metaphoric in the sense that when waves, it's kind of like the tide when it goes in and out. It has its process. Sometimes they're a lot more, intense. Sometimes they're a lot calmer. But you've got to kind of just move with it, however it shows up within your experience, because there's no way that you can necessarily control that, but you can control your own emotions in the sense of your own reactions to that. So the more that you understand them, the more that you choose to hold space for them, the more that you'll actually stand in this kind of pride of knowing that you are able to move through this in a way that is gentle, but it also is focused, so that you can actually continue doing what it is that you want to do, no matter what kind of comes up for you, because it is all just trying to tell you something that's going on within your energy. It's just an indicator. It's not meant to keep you down in the sense of making you feel, any negativity that will keep you there. Like, even if you do go into lower frequencies, which is common when you have emotions come up, because if you know the scale of frequencies, you know that there is like, guilt, sadness, anger, all of those are lower frequency, but it doesn't mean that if you're experiencing those emotions that you're meant to stay in those lower frequencies. It means that you're supposed to hold space while you're there, and then when it's time, you'll slowly come back up to the higher frequencies as you need to in your own time and in your own space, so that it can actually benefit you. Now, it does feel like with the Hierophant on your root chakra, that this is a sense of why this is happening, okay? The root chakra is like literally the root of the main, energy that is kind of coming up from this. And it is very much this sense of you clearing out these emotions, you clearing out this sense of awareness, so that you can actually have this ability to tap into different ideas and concepts. And especially in the sense of, maybe seek out new teachings, maybe remind yourself of teachings that you're already aware of that will actually assist you in understanding your emotions better. Because a lot of the time, when you're in that zone of feeling things and they're surfacing, you kind of forget, where it's coming from or why it's happening. But when you start to, really commit to the sense of wanting to know who you are and really recognizing the things that are creating this within you, because that's the thing is, like, people get triggered by different things because we have different wounds. We have different things that we have taken on. And the more that you learn about different experiences, the more that you can also understand yourself and your own experience and how to move through that in a more productive way. Okay, not to say it has to be, there is no right or wrong, it is just there is an ability to actually be able to teach yourself, once again, meditative style, because she's also meditating in this, to tune in to the things that you need to tune into, right? And that's why I said the knowledge, the awareness, the spiritual activations of just what can assist you. If this means putting on not spiritual, but like frequency music, binaural beats, things like that will actually assist you in alleviating the things that may be surfacing at this time. Because the more that you assist yourself with this process, the easier it will be for you to move through it. If you resist it, the resistance will only cause more havoc, and if anything, it will push it down. And then it's just like anything, the more you try and push the pressure down, the more intense it's going to be when it finally comes up to the surface, which it will. And it will maybe, in hindsight, it's easier to allow it to flow than, and to allow yourself to feel vulnerable, to feel the things you need to feel, than to continuously try and push it down, because it's just going to explode in a way that maybe you aren't prepared for and you don't know how to comprehend it well. So trust that you know how to move through this by, using the teachings, using the meditative energies of just tuning into your own energy and seeking assistance, whether that be spirit guides or your higher self or even just your own soul. All those things will benefit you in a way. So they're just suggestions. You don't obviously have to do any of that, but if that feels right for you and you feel called to, of course, take it as it resonates and use that as it needs to be for you. So I'm just going to pull some more cards from the Sacred Forest Oracle to assist with this message. And of course, you are moving through a lot of the emotional kind of sense of self at this time of, probably just releasing what it is that you may have just, I feel like it's a sense of whatever has been heavy on your heart, because the Nine of Cups and the King of Cups is right in the middle, is coming out so that you can have a clearer sense of, how to receive love, but to also accept love within your own self, like self-love and, caring for yourself, self-nurturing. It's all that energy so that you can actually teach yourself how to do that, because maybe, a lot of us weren't taught that as children. We didn't know how to treat ourselves that way. And so this is really calling you to learn that if you don't already know how to really, hold space for yourself. So let's see, what does the Sacred Forest Oracle want you to know today? Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Let's do this. Okay. So there is a sense of the Willow Spirit, which is flexibility here. Okay, so as I said, this is just you trusting in the fact that when these emotions rise, it's just like water. You just have to move with it. You just have to kind of allow it to flow as it needs to within you and to be released. One thing that I want to state is that, these emotions are temporary. Like I said, they're energy and motion. They're going to flow. And if you give them the space to go and be released, they will be released. And you can trust that at any time it comes up again, it will get easier and easier and easier until the point that it's no longer there, because you've given it enough space to actually move through you, okay? Now, we have the Maple Spirit Generosity. And I feel like this is an energy of you, once again, self-love, okay? You actually tuning in to this sense of who you actually want to be, and how are you going to give yourself that love to rise up into that version of yourself through your emotional capacity of trusting yourself, of knowing yourself, and being aware of who you are and how you function, especially with your emotions. Because if you don't tune into that, that's when things get really explosive and chaotic. It's when things kind of just, just happen and you're not expecting it. And that could still happen, but you'll have more control of it if you are in tune with yourself. If you're not, it just becomes very, just as I said, resistance, friction, all of that stuff just keeps occurring. So really give yourself the self-love and, self-nurturing to grow as you need to, especially because that's a tree energy. Like, there's a sense of growth, of just needing to move through this through your own pace, and giving it the space it needs to, giving yourself the space you need to have to simply just, keep moving in the direction you need to move in. You don't have to force yourself to be a type of way. And I know a lot of time when there are responsibilities in life, you get caught up in that. But just remember that, stay true to yourself in these situations, and know that if you're not okay, that is okay. There are days where you're just not going to be your best, and you got to accept that. You've got to just move with that and know that even if people judge you, even if they have their opinions, let it slide. They don't experience your life the way you do, and so they genuinely won't be able to comprehend what it is that you're moving through. So that is okay, and really just remember, hold space. And we have foggy bog patience. I love this card. So this is an energy of you, as I said, giving yourself that time and space, especially if you needed to if you feel like meditating or feel like doing any, spiritual kind of assistance, in the sense of, even divination if you do it yourself, giving yourself that patience to really understand what's processing at this time, and not feeling like you need to get it all at once, because a lot of the time we don't truly understand what's occurring until after it's happened. I can say from experience that every time I feel something, I'll always understand it more after I've just allowed the space for it to occur. So give yourself that patience to really just move through things that you're not really understanding fully at this time. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to just kind of take the step you need to, baby steps if you need to, just slowly through the fog, slowly through the unseen, because it's not a bad thing to, still walk forward, even if you can't necessarily see. It just means you have to trust that you'll take the right steps if you can actually be in tune with your own self and where you're being led to go. So, this does feel like you're in a phase of clearing, of cleansing, and it is giving you this opportunity to stand up in this King of Cups energy to really understand your truest emotions, and, how to tap into that, how to care for yourself, how to really nurture what it is that needs to be nurtured, especially because the King of Cups is in your solar plexus and sacral. Like, your inner child wants to be expressed, wants to be seen, and that's where a lot of the pain is, a lot of the trauma is. So if you tap into that and you give it space to be felt and seen, you're only being, more in tune with the version of you that is moving through this pain. Because a lot of time people forget the pain that's coming up now is not you now. It is you from past experiences that need to be surfaced, that you may have not known how to do in the past. So if you give it that time now, you'll understand why later. Not necessarily now. Some people do. But if you just simply allow yourself to care for yourself the way you would for a friend, for family, for people you care about, then you'll understand that self-love is genuinely going to give you this ability to be your own teacher, to be your own support system. And that is obviously, what a lot of us need, especially when things are, overwhelming, with that Four of Cups, Four of Swords energy, where you just get very convoluted, and you need to hold space for that and allow it to move through as it needs to. So that is your message today, Divine Soul. As always, I simply hope to offer you new perspectives, or remind you of things that you may already know that you simply need to hear again, so that it can support you along your path and journey. And I only wish to be, completing my soul mission by being a physical guide on this realm, in this physical realm, so that I can support those along their path and journey who are open to receiving. And I send you many blessings on your journey, and many, energies of healings as you move through this phase, so that it can support you, of course. And as always, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.